Okay, this is a tour of the world history textbook that we use for ancient civilizations. Here's the front stuff, the textbook, who owns it? The school district owns it. Here's those pages no one cares about all the fun resources. And then here's the table of contents. You'll use this a lot because we jump around in the book a fair amount. But there's a fair amount of things going on. We'll be starting with this unit, for example, where we learn about the origins of civilization. Here's some more pages of tables of contents. It goes on for quite a bit. We mainly don't go past, I think, like topic 7 or 8. Well, we really don't go past topic 9, if I recall correctly, because we're mostly Ancient Civ. But if you're curious about everything else going on in the world, this book has all of that. There's also a listing of the 21st century. These are some of the resources that are available in the online textbook. We'll go how to get into that later. Here's the beginning of a chapter, or topic as the textbook likes to call it for whatever reason. We have something called enduring standards, and these are just basic ideas that you're supposed to get out of this particular topic, origins of civilization, prehistory to 300 BC. And then here's what it looks like. You see the white text up there in the box? That's the opening paragraph. It gives you a summary of pretty much everything that's going to happen in the chapter. Let's hit the light so you can actually see it. Then we also have the objectives, which are basically saying this is what you're going to get out of the chapter. We've got key terms, those words people ought to know. And then here's the actual text of the textbook. You've got red headings, which are main ideas, and then blue headings. And then you see I'm pointing to the key terms here. Because I recorded this after. I recorded the audio after I recorded the video. But as you can see, the headings, you work through the headings. There's some pictures, there's timelines, par for the course. Oh, that's a lovely skull. Anyways. And then it goes on to the next section. There's, of course, a little assessment thing. Teachers use that sometimes to come up with questions. You can use it to kind of look at, okay, what are the big ideas here? Here's another topic, the Romans, if you're into that subject. And the entire textbook is pretty much laid out the same way. So once you figure out the basic layout of the textbook, you can use the tools like the table of contents, and a few others we'll go over in a second, to understand everything and know where to find information. Here we're into the Constitution. There's some reference sources in the very back. We've got the Constitution Quick Study Guide, ripped straight from your U.S. history textbook. Everything you need to know about the Constitution, its exact wording, plus other comments on it are on the sides. This is a good source if you need an American reference in our Ancient Civilizations class. Anyways, working through this, I suppose you could use this book for world history. We also have some primary sources excerpts. We'll use some of those, like the Code of Hammurabi. The Analytics is another one, but essentially you get an introduction, and then you get the primary source, or the historical document that somebody produced in the past. And then there's a few questions at the end that people can, sometimes teachers have you answer those questions. Anyways, there's quite a few primary sources. There's some good ones in here. And then you have something called 21st Century Skills. So if you want some advice on, like, how do you read maps, or how do you read political cartoons, or how do you understand cause and effect, compare and contrast, read Venn diagrams, all that is in the 21st Century Skills section. It's designed to help you kind of understand those things that people just assume you should know how to do. And historians operate on that premise as well. We've got an atlas, of course, so you can never be truly too lost. Lovely place. Got Asia. I'm filming this on a 15 or so year old document camera. It seems to be holding up pretty well. There's a bit of glare, which I can never seem to get rid of. Oh well. Alrighty, now we're into the glossary. All those bolded terms that were listed, the key terms, they're now in the glossary. So if you don't know what a word is and it's bold, it's going to be in the glossary. So this is a good tool to use if you don't know what a term is. My voice sounds off. It's because I have a cold when I'm recording this. Anyways, we also have the Glossary. It's a lovely little thing. It's in Spanish. So if English is not your first language, but Spanish is, all the glossary key terms are translated into Spanish and are in the Glossary. If suddenly things don't make sense and you're an English speaker, you've stumbled into the Glossary. Turn back to the glossary. Next is the index. Indexes just list page numbers for where you can find things. I will frequently tell students when they can't find something, have you checked the index? Because if it isn't in the index, you're probably not meant to find it. That's generally the rule. Somebody went through and wrote down all the page numbers for things like World War II and etc. Here's the acknowledgements, not too terribly important for our purposes. And then there's some blank pages to balance out the book, spine. And then on the back, you got a list of all the topics. And that concludes our tour. Thanks for watching.